So, welcome to the part 2 service learning. Alternatively, the service learning may be defined as a non-paid activity in which the service is provided on voluntary basis to the public. So, we are going to do service to the society on voluntary basis. For example, people working in IT companies, they are voluntarily going for the service. They are going to take care of the particular village, and those children who are not going to school or old people are available in the particular village. They are going to teach the basics of the Tamil and English language, how to read and write, all those things. They are voluntarily going and do the service. That is also called service learning. In the industrial scenario, adaptation, study and development of public health or welfare or safety system of a village or school is an example of service learning by the employees. So we are going to do the mock trial run. For example, police department is going to demonstrate fire and rescue operations. That is also called service learning. Similarly, the military is going to form the doing the military drill in Indian Ocean region or in Ladakh region or in Gujarat nearby to the Pakistan area. Those drills are performed for learning operational readiness to save the Indian society. So that is also the service learning. A teaching and learning strategy that integrates meaningful community service. Here a lot of nations also coming together. They need to understand each other practices in defense also in R&D. They come closer together and forming the company for doing the research. That is also service learning. A teaching and learning strategy that integrates meaningful community service is a service learning. Civic virtue. So, virtue means individual quality or positive and preferred values of an individual, or desirable attitudes or character traits, motivates and emotion that enable us to be successful to act in ways that develop our highest potential. So, individual value system they are following that will affect the society. Our moral duties and rights. Civic virtues are moral duties and rights as a citizen of the society. An individual may exhibit civic virtues by voting, volunteering, organizing welfare groups. All these are civic virtues. Virtue are applicable to the society. Then respect for others. This is a basic requirement for nurturing friendship, teamwork, for synergy. It promotes and sustains. The principles enunciated in this regard are: recognize and accept the existence of other persons as human beings. You have to respect other human beings as human beings because they have a right to live and just as you are. So always you should respect others at any cost. Even the beggar, you need to respect. Respect others' ideas, words, and labor. Appreciate colleagues and subordinates on their positive actions. Criticize constructively and encourage them to avoid the negative answer. Show goodwill on others. This will facilitate collinearity, focus, coherence, and the strength to achieve the goals. So, when you respect others, others will also respect you. So, teamwork will be available. So, nowadays, as an engineer, you should have the good communication and the teamwork. Without the teamwork, you cannot go and work in a company. So, for that basic thing is you need to respect others. Then living peacefully. Order in one's life. self-regulation, discipline, and duty. When you want to live peacefully, you should have the self-regulation, discipline, and duty. Then only your thoughts will be purified. You'll have the new creative idea, beauty in one's heart, love, service, happiness, and peace. So living peacefully means you need to follow the ethical principles in individual in a self manner. Then only you can able to live peaceful. If you do unethical activities over a period of time, definitely you will lose your sleep. You can, when you live peacefully, for that, when you follow the principles of living peacefulully or ethical principles, you can get good health, body, physical strength for service, action, help the needy with the head, heart, and hands, not hurting and torturing others either physically, verbally, or mentally. Uh, these are the activities you need to do. Based on that, you can good peaceful mind and good health and in your body and mind. So when you do the right thing, when you help others, when you avoid hurting others physically, verbally, and mentally, you will have the mind peace and you can live in a peaceful manner. Next one is caring. Caring is a process which exhibits the interest in and support for the welfare of the others with fairness and impartiality. So caring is also a feeling, inner feeling. Based on that, you are going to act for others. So it includes showing respect to the feeling of others and also respecting and preserving the interests of all others concerned. Caring is reflected in activities such as friendship, membership in social clubs and professional societies, and through various transactions in the community. Empathy is sensing what others feel about without their open talk. So, you are going to empathy means it's also a kind of caring, but you are going to have the feeling of others. You are going to put into others' shoes, and you will have the feeling. You have the complete. You can feel the complete that sadness of others. Based on that, you are going to act. So the difference between empathy and caring is only based on the feeling you are going to have. So you will have the empathy means when others making tears, you will also make tears. That is the empathy. Empathy begins with showing concern and then obtaining and understanding the feeling of others from others' point of view. You are going to put yourself into others' shoes and you are going to feel others' problems as your problem, and you are going to make the solution for them. It is also defined as the ability to put oneself into psychological frame or reference or point of view of another person, to know what the other person feels. To practice empathy, a leader must develop the following characteristics. Understanding. You need to understand others, then only you can able to feel others' feelings. Service orientation, developing others. In developing others, one should inculcate the listening skill first. Whatever the others people are telling you, you have to observe all those things. Then only you can understand the feeling of others, so that you can develop the others. So communication, empathy, you can develop by 22% through communication, reading and write. Communication through 22% communication, reading and writing, and speaking. All those things, reading and writing, 22% speaking, and only by listening to others' feeling, that is 55%. Giving correct feedback and positive expectation of the subject's ability and the resulting performance. Leveraging diversity, political awareness. It is the ability to read political and social currents in an organization. The benefits of empathy include good customer relations, harmonious labor relations, good vendor-producer relationship. Then we move on to the sympathy. Sympathy means feeling the sorrow or commiseration of hardship of other problems and pain caused to another person. You can understand the feelings of other people. That is sympathy. So when you develop the sympathy, then you are going to put yourself into others' problems and understanding and feeling of other problem. You are going to solve. That is called as empathy. For example, Hazel had much sympathy for the train accident victims. Sympathy means, oh, we can feel the sadness. Oh, sorry, like that. But she cannot empathize with them. The above example, the word sympathy is used to mean the compassion. Example, Hazel as for the victims, but as she has not suffered such an accident, she cannot empathize. So, the Hazel can have the sympathy for the train accident people. She cannot have the empathy for those people who got accident because she has not got into that particular accident. She cannot feel that. So the basic difference between sympathy and empathy is that while sympathy is all about feeling sorry for someone's misfortune, whereas empathy implies others' feeling also. They can able to understand the others' feeling also. Based on that, they are going to do the action. So sympathy, don't you have any sympathy with the cancer survivors? Even after studying hard in the board exams, Kunal is not able to pass. So I have great sympathy for him. Empathy, as she has not lost her father due to cancer, she has great empathy with the cancer patient's children. So when father died because of cancer, the child will have great empathy for the cancer patients, so that the child can understand the pain of cancer because her father already had the cancer. So that is empathy. So then you can have the confusion with respect to caring. The difference between empathy and caring is that empathy is the intellectual identification of the thoughts, feelings, or state of another person. So empathy is simply you are going to understand the feelings of other, you are going to put in other shoes and understand the feeling, like your own problem or your own feeling. That is called as empathy. Whereas caring, you are going to act based on the sympathy. You are going to do the action. For example, when person got into an accident, you are going to go and help the particular accident victim. That is called as caring. Sympathy means those people won't do anything, just they will feel for that particular accident person. They are having sympathy. Caring means they are going to do some action based on the sympathy. What is meant by empathy? The person who is doing the action, the person who is either is having the caring, or those person who is having the feeling of the particular accident victim, called as sympathy. Those people will be called as empathical people. So dash is known feeling and acting in the interest of others, as we have discussed. Is caring. What is empathy? It is the ability to put yourself in someone else's position and understand what they are feeling, called as empathy. In current scenario, caring for the environment has become a necessity for our survival. Otherwise, environment will scare us. Not necessary for our survival. So caring is either required or not. To effectively coordinate with the other departments, the ability to know what someone else is thinking. So first one is necessary necessity for our survival, otherwise the environment will scare us. Next one is sharing. Sharing is a process that describes the transfer of knowledge, experience, commodities and facilities with others. Whatever the thing, knowledge, experience, intellectual property, all those things are going to share with others. Things called as sharing. Sharing is voluntary. Nobody is going to insist. You are going to do it voluntarily, and it cannot be driven by force, but motivated successfully through ethical principles. So based on that, we can see some of the MCQ questions. Sharing is a process that describes transfer of knowledge and experience. So both A and B are true. Dash with others gives peace of mind, a feeling of fulfillment and satisfaction. So sharing with others gives peace of mind, a feeling of fulfillment and satisfaction. Next one is courage. Courage is a tendency to accept and face risk and a difficult task in rational ways. You are going to, there is a risk available. In that case, you are going to take a rational decision whether to take the risk or not. That is called courage. Always you are going to take the decision in positive manner to face the risk. So always those people who are having the courage will accept and take the risk in a rational, by thinking in a rational way. Self-confidence is the basic requirement to nurture courage. When people having the self-confidence in themselves, they will use the courage. Courage is classified into three types based on the types of risk, namely physical courage, social courage and intellectual courage. In physical courage, the thrust is on the capability of physical strength, including muscle power and armament. Social courage involves decisions and actions to change the order based on the conviction or beliefs for or against certain social behavior. Whenever some problems going on in the society, you need to come up with the courage, with the boldness you need to come up. Particularly for press reporters, they should have the courage. Whistleblowers are having the courage. Whatever the wrong activity going on in the company, they are going to come up with the courage manner. So whenever people are having the courage, they will come up boldly against some particular unethical actions. So social activities are available. They are having very good courage. So this requires leadership abilities, including empathy and sacrifice, to mobilize and motivate the followers for the social cause. You know that Anna Hazare, against the corruption, he laid down social movement. That is one form of courage. So even though a lot of opposition comes from the government, they boldly took the decision and they passed for around 2 months. They laid down the base for movement against the corruption. The intellectual courage is included in people through acquired knowledge, experience, games, tactics, education and training. Facing the criticism, owning responsibility and accepting the mistakes or errors when committed and expressions of courage. When you do the mistakes, you have to acknowledge it. That you can gain only by using courage. So you can see some of the MCQ questions. Courage is the tendency to accept reasonable and objectable compromises. That is wrong. Risk and a difficult task in rational way. One knows is the right thing to do. Honesty requires of engineers in particular situations. So courage is nothing but risk. They are going to take the risk even though difficult task available in a rational way. Which of the following correctly emphasizes the courage? Tendency to face dangers and difficult jobs. tendency to face the courage. That emphasizes the courage. The ways to build the courage is raise your consciousness and move from fear to action. Empathy is about feeling, whereas sympathy is about action. So here sympathy is referred here in the sense of caring. Empathy is about feeling. You are going to put yourself into other shoes, whereas sympathy is you are going to feel sympathy for others. That is here it is referred as a caring. So sympathy is about action. Sympathy is not directly related to action here. Here the sympathy is used in the sense of caring. So all other options will not fit into sympathy here. Dash minds with defeating thoughts pull us back. Weak minds with defeating thoughts pull us back. Valuing time. Time is a rare resource. Once it is spent, it is lost forever. It can neither be stored or not recovered. Time is the most perishable and most valuable resource too. This resource is continuously spent whether any decision or action is taken or not. So the proverb says, time and tide wait for nobody. And procrastination is the thief of the time. Then cooperation. It is a team spirit present with every individual engaged in engineering. Every individual should have the cooperation, then only you can have the team spirit, you can increase the work ethic, you can live in a harmony with the others. So cooperate, you have to respect for others. That is the base thing here. Cooperation is an activity between two person or sector that aims at integration of operations while not sacrificing the autonomy of either party. So two people will come together and do one particular operation, common task, by understanding each other. Further, working together ensures coherence, blending of different skills required towards common goal. So different skilled set people are working together to achieve the common goals using the cooperation. Cooperation promotes collinearity, coherence, coordination and synergy. Cooperation should exist or be developed and maintained at several levels between employers and employees, superiors and subordinates, organization and customers, and among all the colleagues. The impediments, obstacles to successful cooperation are clash of ego of individual. So whenever people having the ego, that will affect the cooperation. Lack of leadership and motivation. Conflicts of interest between two individuals or between two departments based on the region, religion, language and caste. Always there will be problem. So cooperation will not be available. Ignorance and lack of interest also cause for the not having the cooperation. By careful motivation and leadership and development and rewarding teamwork, training and appreciation to different cultures, and cooperation can be developed and also sustained. The setbacks against successful cooperation are conflicts of individual egos, different opinions and interests based on the religion, region, community and language. The second question is, dash is essential at work because you must be able to work with others. So that means to have the teamwork, you should have the cooperation. Then commitment. Commitment means alignment to goals and adherence to ethical principles during the activity. So one should have the commitment to follow the ethical rules and regulations of the organization as well as the government. So that for that you should have the commitment. It is an obligation to follow the duty and rules and regulations. Holding sustained interest and firmness in whatever ethical means one follows with a fervent attitude and hope that one will achieve the goals is coming. It is the driving force to realize the success. This is a basic requirement for any profession. When the teacher is committed to his job, the students will succeed in life and contribute to good to the society. The commitment of top management will naturally lead to commitment of committed employees, whatever may be their positions. If a person dash to his duties, such person can neither come up with themselves nor help nation to prosper. If a person not courage, not honesty, person so here you have to remove this not question is wrong. If a person is committed to his duty, if a person is committed to his duty, such persons can name okay, it's true only. Such persons cannot come up in life. It's true only. If a person not committed to his duty, they cannot come up in life. Then self-confidence, certainty in one's own principles, capabilities, values and goals is self-confidence. So you should have the self-confidence in your own capabilities and values so that you can achieve your goals. The people with self-confidence exhibit courage. So the people with self-confidence will exhibit courage to get into action and unshakable faith in their abilities, whatever may be their positions. They are not influenced by threats or challenges and are prepared to face them and the expected consequences. The self-confidence is in a person develop sense of partnership, respect, accountability, and this helps the organization to maximize ideas, efforts, and guidelines from its employees. The self-confidence person will have the self-assured standing in front of others, willing to listen and learn from others, and they will have the very high flexibility. They will not have the ego. Frank to speak the truth and respect for others' efforts and give due credit to others. The factors that shape the self-confidence in a person are attitude of parents, that the self-confidence they are going to learn from the parents, family environment, friendship, their colleagues and friends, influence of superiors or role models. Training in the organization can also increase the self-confidence of a person. For that we need to do the SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunity and threat analysis we have to do. By evaluating the strength, weakness, they can anticipate and prepare to face the results. Training to evaluate risk and face them. Self-acceptance, self-talk. It is a condition of mind for preparing self to act without any doubt on his capabilities. So this makes one accept himself while still arriving for improvement. Study and group discussion on the history of leaders and innovators. The factors which contribute for the effective development of the self-confidence. Self-evaluation, getting trained, study of lifestyle and achievements of leaders and innovators. All these are contribute to improvement of the self-confidence. Next one is character. It is a characteristic property that defines the behavior of an individual. Character includes attributes that determine persons' moral and ethical actions and responses. The character is exhibited through conduct. Character is determined by expectations of the society. Character implies certain unity of qualities, and a recognizable degree of faithfulness in mode of action. Strong character means you have a high sense of moral and ethical behavior that earns respect for others. So second is strong character means you have a high sense of moral and ethical behavior that earns respect for others. Next one is spirituality. Spirituality is nothing but way of living that emphasizes constant awareness, recognition of spiritual dimension of nature and people, with a dynamic balance between material development and spiritual development. So spirituality is nothing but way of living. Spirituality includes creativity, communication, recognition of the individual as a human being, respect to others, acceptance, and the vision. Spirituality is motivation as it encourages the colleagues to perform better. Tolerance, empathy are reflections of spirituality. Spirituality in the workplace. Verbally respect the individuals as human beings and recognize their values in all decisions and actions. Get to know the people with whom you work and know what is important to them. When you understand others, you can work with others in cordial manner. So spirituality will give the spirituality will increase the output at the workplace. State your personal ethics and beliefs very clearly to others. This is called space. You need to form the space even in your home, in your workspace, by telling your personal ethics and your beliefs clearly so that others will not hurt you. Support cause outside the business. So a lot of industries are doing this. Even educational institutions are doing support causes outside the business. Encourage leaders to use value-based discretion in making decisions. So based on the value, they are going to make the decision. Demonstrate your self-knowledge and spirituality in all your actions. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. So what others expecting to, what you feel others to do to you, you have to do to others. That is important spirituality practice. Spirituality for corporate excellence, self-awareness, realization of self-potential, realization of self-potential, alertness in observation and quickness in decision making, being visionary and value based, holism, comprehensive views. So as is when you follow the spirituality, you will have the overall view of the company. What is going on in and out of the company? What are the policies, procedures, how they are going to make the decision? So you should have the open eye, open ear, and open mind, so that you can understand all the parameters and all the activities going in the entire organization. That will increase the corporate excellence. Compassion, you should have the sympathy, empathy, and the concern for others. respect for diversity. So you have to respect others' view. You should not forcefully insist your views on others, so that you can have the cooperation with the others. Moral autonomy means action based on rational and moral judgment. So it is one's own individual ethical principle at the highest level. So you are going to behave in take the right decision based on your rational and moral judgment. It's the highest level of ethical standard called as moral autonomy. Creative thinking and constant reasoning, ability to analyze and synthesize problems going on in a company, positive views of adversity, humility, sense of vocation, treat the duty as service to the society besides your organization. That is called a sense of vocation. You should be able to accept criticism from others, your colleagues, so that you can improve yourself. Then introduction to yoga and meditation for professional and excellence and stress management. Yoga is an ancient discipline founded by Patanjali Muni. Even though yoga principles are followed even before Patanjali, he is the first person to form the principles of yoga. So yoga is actually it's a religion. The first principle says yoga is a religion. Patanjali Muni's first principles is saying that yoga itself is a religion. Yoga is not related to any other religion. Yoga itself is a religion. So when you practice yoga, you can bring balance between your mind and body, and your emotions. The first person, already we saw Yoga Sutra. The person who formed the Yoga Sutra is called Patanjali. Yoga offers an effective method of managing and reducing stress, anxiety, depression, and numerous studies demonstrate the efficiency of the yoga in decreasing the stress and stress of the human being, and it can improve the health of the human being. Yoga is often depicted metaphorically as a tree and comprises 8 aspects or 8 limbs of yoga. So, Yamaha, and that is ethical principles applicable universally. So, before practicing yoga, you need to do yoga practice, learn the yoga practices one by one. The first principle is Yama. Yama means universal ethics. So one should follow the rules and regulations of the government. That is called Yama. Niyama. Niyama means individual ethics. Individual ethics is nothing but moral values. You should have the moral values in all your activities. Then only you should enter into the yoga. That is asana, physical posture. So asana, as we all know, that it's a combination of physical posture and breathing exercise, so that your body will be first controlled. Your human body will be controlled. Before doing asana, you have to practice yama and niyama. That is mandatory thing. Otherwise, without practicing, if you don't have the yama and niyama, when you do the asana, your body will be get affected. So you have to practice one by one. Then after practicing asanas, the main features of asana is you can increase the blood circulation in the body, so that you can avoid the diseases in the body. So after practicing asana over a period of time, then you have to go for the pranayama. Pranayama is breath control. Asana, when you practice the asana, your body will be controlled, your emotions will be controlled, then only you can able to control your mind. After that only you have to go for the pranayama, that is breath control. So when you control your breathe, your mind will be gradually controlled. So the ultimate aim of doing pranayama is yoga is gradually the thought process will be controlled, In your mind, no thought will be emanating when you do the pranayama, and uh, when you do the practices of yoga. Then after you control your mind, then you have to go for the pratyahara. Pratyahara is nothing but control of senses. In the human body, 8 glands are available. So gradually your mind should be focused in the all those 8 glands one by one. That is called as pratyahara. Then Dharana. Dharana is nothing but concentration. Your mind should be focused on 8 control points in the body. After that, you have to do the meditation. When you do the meditation, your mind will be emanating gamma rays. Gradually your wavelength will be reduced. Gradually thought process will be reduced. No thought will be emanating from your mind when you do the meditation. After that, when you do the meditation over a period of time, you can achieve the enlightenment or samadhi. That is the final stage of the yoga. So a lot of Indian yogis have attained the samadhi. Even in yoga posture itself, they lay down their life. All these things already we have seen. So the role of yoga in stress management. Stress is a complex dynamic process. It's interaction between person and his life. Stress can also be defined as harmful physical emotional responses that occur when the requirements of the job do not match the capabilities, resources or needs of the worker. Stress is a silent killer, and prolonged exposure to stress may exert harmful effect on physical, psychological behavior, well-being of an individual. Burnout. What is meant by burnout? The rapid change of modern working environment and lifestyle. When you go to the IT company, they are going to work in around 15 to 16 hours a day, except to sleep hours they are going to work. So that they will lose their all their energy. They will be more stressed. We need to adapt to new types of work. Pressure of high productivity and quality of work, time pressure and hectic jobs. These factors are increasing stress among the workforce. Impact of stress. So stress, when you have the stress, psychological changes such as anxiety, anger, irritability, restlessness arise due to overstimulation of sympathetic nervous system. The second stage symptoms such as high BP, elevated heart rate, increased intestinal motility surface, then a more profound physical and biochemical imbalance. The final fourth stage, irreversible symptoms that often require surgical or long-term management appear. In contrast, relaxation response has been proposed as an antidote to stress. Relaxation decreases heart rate, breathing, body temperature and muscle tension. Certain yoga techniques will increase your stress level in the human body. Yoga significantly decreases heart rate and systolic, diastolic blood pressure, that is BP. Studies suggest that yoga reverses negative impact of stress on the immune system, increasing levels of immunoglobulin, glucobilin, as well as natural killer cells. Regardless of pathophysiologic pathway, yoga has been shown to have immediate psychological effect, decreasing anxiety, increasing feelings of emotion, social and spiritual well-being. Now we see some of the MCQ questions. Spirituality in a broad sense refers to it is a way of living that emphasizes a constant awareness and a recognition of spiritual dimension. The purpose of yoga is a liberation of soul, which is attained by the attachment with material enjoyment should be neutralized and fulfill satisfaction. So you are not going to like the material properties, money. That will not be the value when you do the yoga. Then the impressions of sim should be obliterated. So both these are purpose of the yoga, which is sub values of peace, calm. Peace and calm is a sub value of peace. Dance is not only individual but collective. Living peacefully is a collective thing, it's not the individual thing. Caring is a living peacefully, not only individual but collective. Living peacefully is not only individual thing but living peacefully is a collective thing. When is International Yoga Day is celebrated annually? 21st June. Stress can affect one's health, work performance, social life, and relationship with the family members, etc. Who introduced yoga first time to the Western world? In the religious conference in Chicago, that is Swami Vivekananda, who had introduced Yoga Sutras to the world, Patanjali. Yoga significantly decreases heart rate, that is true. So with this, we come to an end. Thank you, students.